Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that might shake you a little bit today. Most of you in this room are not tired because of hard work. You are tired because you are living a life that was never meant for you. You are exhausted not from chasing your dreams, but from chasing people's approval. You wake up every morning trying to be who others want you to be, talking how they want you to talk, acting how they want you to act, dressing how they want you to dress, and thinking how they want you to think. And then you wonder why you feel empty inside. You see, the biggest prison in the world is not made of iron bars. The biggest prison is the fear of what other people think. Some of you have been in that prison for years. You didn't choose your career, your lifestyle, even your attitude based on what you wanted. You chose it based on what would make people clap for you. But applause does not equal happiness. Approval does not equal peace. And living for others will never give you the joy that living for yourself will. I learned something in life. People will always have an opinion. If you do good, they talk. If you do bad, they talk. If you try, they talk. If you don't try, they talk. So if they're going to talk anyway, you might as well give them something worth talking about while you live your life on your terms. Stop trying to make everybody comfortable at the cost of your own comfort. Stop shrinking yourself so others can feel big. Stop dimming your light because it's too bright for insecure people. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you made a decision purely for yourself? Not for your family, not for your friends, not for society, not for social media, but for you. Most people can't even answer that question because they have been programmed to believe that putting themselves first is selfish. But let me tell you something today. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot make others happy when you are miserable inside. You have to learn how to say no without explaining yourself. No is a complete sentence. You don't owe everyone an explanation for choosing your peace. Some people only like you when you are useful to them. The moment you start setting boundaries, they call you selfish. But the truth is, they were benefiting from your lack of boundaries. They were comfortable when you were uncomfortable. You see, when you start living for yourself, some people will get upset. They will say you changed. And you know what? That's the point. You are supposed to change. Growth requires change. You cannot become the person you are meant to be while staying the person everyone is used to. There are dreams inside you that have been waiting for permission. But here's the truth, nobody is coming to give you that permission. You have to give it to yourself. You have to look in the mirror and say, I deserve to live a life that makes me happy. Not a life that looks good to others, but a life that feels good to you. Some of you are living according to a script that was written by other people. Your parents, your friends, your culture, your past. And now you're acting in a movie that you didn't even audition for. It's time to take that script, tear it up, and write your own story. Because at the end of the day, you are the one who has to live with your choices, not them. You are not responsible for meeting everyone's expectations. You are only responsible for fulfilling your potential. And your potential cannot be reached if you are constantly trying to please everybody. People-pleasing is a full-time job with no salary and no promotion. The only reward you get is stress and exhaustion. Listen to me carefully. Your life is a gift, and it is too short to spend it trying to impress people who don't even like themselves. Stop asking people for validation who have never validated their own dreams. Stop asking people for advice who have never had the courage to live boldly. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that holds more people back than failure ever could, and that is the constant need for approval. So many of you are not living your lives, you are performing. Every decision you make is filtered through one question: what will they think? And that question has stolen more dreams, more peace, and more happiness than any obstacle you will ever face. You dress for them, you speak for them, you behave for them, and slowly, without even realizing it, you forget who you really are. The need for approval is a silent addiction. It feels harmless at first. You just want people to like you. You just want to be accepted. You just want to fit in. But over time, that desire turns into a trap. Because the more you try to please everyone, the more you lose yourself. You start saying yes when you want to say no. You start agreeing when you want to disagree. You start smiling when you feel like crying. And now you're living a life that looks good on the outside, but feels empty on the inside. Here's the truth: you cannot be liked by everyone. No matter how kind you are, how generous you are, how talented you are, somebody will still find a reason not to like you. That's not your problem. That's theirs. But when you make it your mission to win everyone's approval, you hand over control of your life to people who don't even know what they want for themselves. Think about how much energy you spend worrying about opinions that don't pay your bills, don't build your dreams, and don't bring you peace. You replay conversations in your head. You overthink your actions. You hesitate to take bold steps because you're afraid of judgment. And while you are busy worrying about what they think, your dreams are waiting on you. The need for approval makes you live small. It makes you play safe. It makes you hide your true thoughts, your true personality, and your true desires. Because you are afraid that if people see the real you, they might not like it. But let me tell you something powerful. The real you is the only version that can live a fulfilled life. The fake version may get applause, but it will never get peace. You have to understand that approval is temporary, but self-respect is permanent. When you constantly seek approval, you sacrifice your self-respect little by little. Every time you go against your own feelings just to make someone else comfortable, you are telling yourself that their opinion matters more than your truth. And after doing that for years, you wake up one day feeling lost, confused, and disconnected from who you are. Some of you have made career choices based on approval. Some of you have stayed in relationships based on approval. Some of you have silenced your voice based on approval. And now you feel stuck because you built a life around what others expected from you instead of what you expected from yourself. You must reach a point where you say, I am done trying to be liked by everybody, because the moment you stop chasing approval is the moment you start chasing purpose. You start making decisions that align with your heart, not with the crowd. You start speaking your truth without fear. You start walking with confidence because you are no longer looking around to see who agrees with you. People will talk. Let them talk. They talked before you were successful. They will talk after you become successful. Their talking has nothing to do with your journey. It has everything to do with their own insecurities. Don't let insecure opinions control a confident destiny. You don't need everyone to clap for you. You only need to be proud of yourself. You only need to look in the mirror and say, I am living my life honestly. That feeling is worth more than any approval you could ever receive from others. When you stop seeking approval, you gain freedom. Freedom to be different. Freedom to take risks. Freedom to say what you believe. Freedom to live in a way that feels true to you. And that freedom is where real happiness lies. Stop asking for permission to be yourself. Stop waiting for validation to follow your dreams. Stop shrinking your personality to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out. But you can't stand out if you are constantly trying to fit in. Let today be the day you release yourself from the need for approval. Let today be the day you decide that your opinion of yourself matters more than anyone else's opinion of you. Because once you break free from that need, you will discover a version of yourself that is bold, confident, and truly alive. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most powerful things you will ever learn in your life is how to set boundaries without feeling guilty about it. Many of you have been taught that being a good person means always being available, always saying yes, always sacrificing your comfort for others. But let me tell you something today. That mindset is the reason you feel drained, frustrated, and emotionally exhausted. You have confused kindness with self-neglect. You have confused love with losing yourself. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are saying no to yourself. Every time you allow someone to cross a line that makes you uncomfortable, you are teaching them that your feelings don't matter. And after doing this again and again, people start believing that they can treat you however they want because you never showed them where the line is. A boundary is not an act of disrespect. A boundary is an act of self-respect. It is a clear message that says, I value myself enough to protect my peace. But the problem is, the moment you start setting boundaries, people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will have a problem with it. They will call you rude. They will call you selfish. They will say you've changed. And that's when you have to stay strong. You cannot build a peaceful life while allowing everyone unlimited access to your time, your energy, and your emotions. Some people only show up when they need something from you. Some people only respect you when you are useful to them. And if you don't learn how to say no, you will spend your entire life being used instead of being valued. You must understand that you are not responsible for fixing everyone's problems. You are not responsible for making everyone happy. You are not responsible for carrying emotional weight that does not belong to you. You are responsible for protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Saying no is one of the hardest things for people to learn because they are afraid of disappointing others. But listen carefully, disappointing others is sometimes necessary to avoid disappointing yourself. You cannot live a life where everyone is happy with you, but you are unhappy with yourself. Boundaries teach people how to treat you. If you never speak up when someone disrespects you, they will think it's acceptable. If you always sacrifice your time for others, they will think your time has no value. If you keep tolerating behavior that hurts you, they will think you are okay with being hurt. You have to be brave enough to say, "This is not okay with me." You have to be strong enough to walk away from situations that disturb your peace. And you have to be confident enough to understand that protecting yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. Some of you are afraid that if you set boundaries, people will leave your life. But let me tell you something powerful. The people who leave because you set boundaries were only there because you had none. The right people will respect your limits. The wrong people will try to make you feel guilty for having them. You have spent so much time trying to be liked that you forgot to be respected. And respect begins the moment you stop allowing things that hurt you. You don't have to shout. You don't have to argue. You just have to be firm, calmly, confidently, and clearly. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are fences that protect what is inside. They allow healthy relationships to grow while keeping harmful behavior away. When you set boundaries, you create space for mutual respect, understanding, and peace. Guilt will try to stop you. Your mind will tell you, what if they get upset? Let them be upset. You have been upset for too long, trying to keep everyone else comfortable. It is time for you to be comfortable too. You deserve to have time for yourself. You deserve to say no without explaining yourself. You deserve to walk away from conversations that drain you. You deserve to protect your energy like it is valuable, because it is. Once you start setting boundaries, something amazing happens. You feel lighter. You feel stronger. You feel in control of your life again. Because now, you are no longer allowing people to walk in and out of your life without respect for your feelings. Stop feeling guilty for choosing yourself. Stop apologizing for protecting your peace. Stop thinking that you have to suffer in silence to be considered a good person. A good person also knows how to take care of themselves. The moment you set boundaries without guilt is the moment you start living with confidence, dignity, and self-respect. Ladies and gentlemen, there is something inside you that has been whispering for years, and most of you have been too busy, too distracted, or too afraid to listen to it. That whisper is your true purpose. It is the thing that makes you feel alive, the thing that excites your soul, the thing that gives your life meaning. But instead of listening to that voice, you listen to noise. You listen to opinions, expectations, fears, and doubts. And slowly, that whisper became quieter and quieter. You were not born just to pay bills, impress people, and follow routines that drain you. You were born with a unique purpose, a unique gift, and a unique path. But discovering that purpose requires honesty with yourself. It requires you to ask, what do I really want? Not what looks good, not what sounds impressive, not what others expect, but what truly moves you from the inside. Many people spend their entire lives chasing money, status, and approval, only to wake up one day feeling empty. Because none of those things can replace the feeling of doing what you love. When you are connected to your passion, work no longer feels like a burden. Effort no longer feels like pressure. You wake up with energy because you are living in alignment with who you really are. The problem is, discovering your purpose is scary because it may require you to step away from what is familiar. It may require you to disappoint people who had different plans for you. It may require you to leave comfort behind and step into uncertainty. And most people would rather stay comfortable and unhappy than uncomfortable and fulfilled. But let me tell you something powerful. Comfort is the enemy of growth. If you stay where it is safe, you will never know how far you can go. Your purpose is not hiding in your comfort zone. Your passion is not waiting in routines that make you feel stuck. It is waiting on the other side of courage. You have to give yourself permission to explore what excites you. Think about what you love doing before the world told you what you should be doing. Think about the activities that make you lose track of time. Think about the ideas that keep coming back to your mind. Those are clues. Those are signs pointing you toward your true calling. Your purpose is not something you find overnight. It is something you uncover by trying, by failing, by learning, and by growing. But you cannot discover it if you are constantly busy living a life designed by others. You have to slow down and reconnect with yourself. You have to listen to your own thoughts instead of everyone else's opinions. Some of you know exactly what you want to do, but you are afraid to admit it because it doesn't fit the image others have of you. You are afraid of being judged. You are afraid of failing. You are afraid of starting over. But the biggest failure is living a life that does not fulfill you. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to be willing to take the first step toward what feels right. Purpose is not always loud and dramatic. Sometimes it starts as a small interest, a small idea, a small desire. But when you nurture it, it grows into something meaningful. When you start living according to your passion, something changes inside you. You feel motivated. You feel confident. You feel excited about the future. Because now you are not just existing. You are living with intention. Stop ignoring what your heart is telling you. Stop pushing your dreams aside because they seem unrealistic. Everything that exists today was once someone's unrealistic dream. The difference between those who live with purpose and those who live with regret is courage. You owe it to yourself to discover what truly makes you happy. Not what makes you look successful, but what makes you feel successful. Because at the end of the day, the only person who has to live with your choices is you. You have something special inside you that the world needs, but the world will never see it if you keep hiding behind fear and expectations. Step into who you really are. Follow what excites you. Trust what feels right. The moment you start discovering your true purpose and passion is the moment your life starts to make sense. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the hardest battles you will ever fight is the battle between choosing your own happiness and trying to keep everyone else comfortable. Most people lose this battle every single day. They wake up and immediately start thinking about what others need, what others expect, and what others will say. And somewhere in that process, their own happiness gets pushed to the bottom of the list. You have been taught that being a good person means sacrificing your joy for others. You have been told that putting yourself first is selfish. So you smile when you don't feel like smiling. You agree when you don't feel like agreeing. You stay where you are unhappy because leaving might upset someone. And slowly, you start living a life where everyone else is satisfied except you. Happiness is not something that happens by accident. It is something you choose. And that choice becomes difficult when you are surrounded by people who benefit from you ignoring your own needs. Some people are comfortable with you being unhappy as long as you are convenient for them. They don't mind you being tired, stressed, or frustrated as long as you keep showing up for them. You have to understand that your happiness matters, not after everyone else is happy, not when everything is perfect, but right now. Because if you keep postponing your joy for the sake of others, you will wake up one day realizing that you spent your whole life waiting for a time that never came. Choosing your happiness does not mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop abandoning yourself for people. It means you stop saying yes to things that drain you. It means you stop staying in places that break you. It means you start asking yourself, does this make me feel alive or does this make me feel trapped? Many of you are living in situations that steal your peace. simply because you are afraid of how others will react if you choose differently. But let me tell you something powerful. People will adjust. People will talk for a while and then move on. But if you don't choose your happiness, you will suffer in silence for years. You deserve to wake up feeling excited about your life. You deserve to go to sleep feeling peaceful about your choices. You deserve to live in a way that brings you joy, not just approval. Because approval fades, but regret stays. Stop waiting for permission to be happy. Stop thinking you need a reason to choose yourself. Your happiness is reason enough. You don't have to justify why you want peace. You don't have to explain why you want joy. You don't have to defend why you want to live differently. Some people will say you have changed. They will say you are not the same person anymore. And you should smile when they say that. Because you are not supposed to stay the same. Growth means you stop tolerating things that once felt normal. Growth means you start valuing your peace more than pleasing people. You cannot make everyone happy. That is a job that no one can do. But you can make sure that you are not the one who is constantly unhappy. You can make sure that you are not the one who is always sacrificing. You can make sure that you are not the one who is always adjusting while others remain comfortable. Choosing your happiness requires courage. It requires you to make decisions that may not be popular. It requires you to walk away from things that once felt familiar. It requires you to trust that your peace is worth protecting. You have spent so much time trying to fit into places where you don't belong, trying to maintain relationships that drain you, trying to meet expectations that were never yours. And all of this has taken you further away from a life that truly makes you happy. Happiness is not selfish, it is essential, because when you are truly happy, you show up better for others. You speak better. You act better. You live better. But when you are unhappy, you carry frustration, anger, and stress into everything you do. It is time to stop living a life where you are always last. It is time to stop putting your joy on hold. It is time to stop choosing discomfort for the sake of others' comfort. Choose your happiness every day. Choose what brings you peace. Choose what makes you feel alive. Because the moment you start choosing your happiness over people, pleasing is the moment you finally begin to live the life you were meant to live.